So day 12 of our testing, and I'm pretty excited about the results I'm seeing. A little concerned about what's going on with the nitrite, but we'll hang on here and have faith that it'll gradually start coming down. I'm still reading that as 6 parts per million, but the surprising thing is I'm reading 0 ammonia now, and the reason that's surprising is while I had done some water changes there a while back, I think the last one was on day 10, might have been day 9. I actually started feeding 5 grams of koi food again yesterday, so I put in 5 grams. I did add a cup of water because the spray water was making a little too much noise, and I didn't like the water level where it was, and a cup that was just right to get that back to where I wanted to hear it. So I really expected to see some green this morning as a result of that extra food, but I didn't. I saw it was actually reading 1 part per million yesterday, so that's quite a reduction over one day. So now we'll start filming again here regularly and see what's going on with the nitrite. Hopefully it won't be too long that starts coming down, getting a little darker hopefully, and then a little bluer hopefully, until we get that nice pretty cyan color that means 0. So anyways, good news. And the other interesting fact I noticed yesterday was after I added the first 5 grams, shortly after that I wandered by there and the smell had come back pretty noticeably. And then I came back, I don't know, probably several hours later, and the smell was all gone. So I'm not exactly sure what that's telling me, but I'm reading that smell as a sign of ammonia, and the fact that it went away was that it's diminished, and it certainly looks like it did. So anyways, glad to hear the BioGravel is, glad to see the BioGravel is working well, and we sure hope that continues. So this is what the tank looks like on day 12. Not that you can probably tell too much, but you can see remnants of the feed from yesterday accumulating on the sponge there. I just put in another 5 grams, and you can see that some of that is deposited on the bottom. We'll stir that up a little bit and see what sort of a commotion that'll cause. But as I say, the water smells good right now, and it's certainly nice and clear, and I'm liking what I see with the ammonia, so we shall see if that improves with time, as I certainly hope. So I hadn't wanted to actually clean the filter out when I tore it down the other day. I just wanted to add those pellets. So there's a little muck in there. The working theory I have perhaps is when I put it all back together, some of that muck that when you see down there in the bottom got up to places where it shouldn't have been. I don't believe when I first tore this down, for instance, this fine screen had this much crap in it. I think I forced some of that up and around. So anyway, we will now go ahead and clean this rascal up like we would do at our regular maintenance interval, and see if that brings our flow back to normal. So I must say I'm a bit mystified. I don't think my theory made a whole lot of sense. I can't see anything here that would be severe enough to plug anything. Filter starter ball certainly diminished in size quite a bit. And what I thought was a screen is not a screen at all. It's a solid piece of plastic, so that little bit of crud on top of it wouldn't have affected anything. There's a little crud on the ribs of this. I think this must be the bottom tray. There's virtually nothing in this coarse foam. Not much in this fine foam either. And just a little hint of film on these bags. So I'm a little mystified, but we'll go ahead and clean this baby up, put her all back together, and see if it'll work better this next go around. Well, the results remain as boring as ever. They haven't changed a lick. There's still no ammonia, and the nitrite is steadfastly refusing to change colors either. So I'm still calling it 6, regardless of what it is. So we'll have to keep on keeping on. Okay, so there we go. Everything's nice and spick and span. I moved the starter balls down into the bottom. You can see those ribs down there, so there's probably a good ½ inch of space down there in the bottom where they won't upset anything. I can't imagine they upset anything where they were, but just in case. And didn't actually touch that. Rinsed some of the biofilm off of these pieces. None of the muck that was on that. Cleaned these foams up real nice. I think they're good and clean again. And wiped the biofilm that was forming on these bags off. So we'll put her back together, fill her up, see if it takes off like it did the first time. I sure do hope so. Well, if that isn't the darndest thing I've ever seen, I don't really have a great explanation for it, but I guess it means, or what it tells me, if you take your filter apart, clean her up nice and fill it all back up with fresh water, and you should have no problems. As I said, all I did was take it apart, put the starter balls there in that bottom tray, or the second tray up actually, and put it back together, and it wouldn't start up for love nor money for a while. And then when it did, the flow was plain ridiculous. So here we are. I think everything's back to normal now. Readings are what they have been, so we're going to throw in our ½ gram of food and just let it continue and just kind of relax now and wait and see. I'm sure that eventually we'll see that nitrate come down. So until such time, we'll bide our time. Well, it's just my luck. It's a crappy day to take readings because it's overcast, but and the results are certainly not what I expected to see. I was hopeful to see this eventually, but I didn't really expect it to drop from so precipitously. I'm talking about the nitrite here. The ammonia's been at 0 for ever and a day. So I'm a little perplexed. It'll make for an interesting graph, that's for sure. So today at least we are reading at 0, 0, so no water change at all today. And we'll feed the ½ gram again, and we'll see if this is an anomaly or if it continues tomorrow. And if it continues tomorrow, then we'll start increasing the feeding to see how much food that filter will stand. So progress at last. It was getting pretty frustrating. I can't even remember what day it is. I got to go look at my calendar. But we're up in the teens for sure, and which isn't bad to get to 0, but I didn't expect it to see the drop so suddenly. I was looking to kind of get a purple, and then a little bluer purple, and then a blue, and then finally the nice pale blue that we see here. But you know, beggars can't be choosy, so hopefully we got progress today. And the other thing I noticed, there was no more smell. The tank had been smelling a little bit, not bad, but there was definitely an odor if you stuck your nose down there. But it's pretty much gone today, so we may be cycled, I hope, so we shall see. And then we'll see how much that little rascal will stand. Well, I was wrong. It's been running longer than I had said out there. It's actually day 23 today. Still not too bad. See, there's quite a bit of food in the bottom and quite a bit gathered up there on the coarse foam. The water's moving nicely and quietly. If you put your ear right down next to the pump, you can hear a little something. But if you were a couple feet away, you can't hear that at all. So we shall see. I keep the fingers crossed that tomorrow everything looks the same. We're going to add just a hair bit of water. It loses. I bring the water level up just a little bit over that lip there every day, and it gets down about this level every day. So the evaporation is pretty consistent on it. So we add just a hair bit of water. We've already added the food for today. We'll stir it up a little bit and come back and take another reading tomorrow. So, a tad disappointed today. Looks like my nitrite's right back up there to 6 again, if I'm reading that correctly. Ammonia's still at 0. And we're seeing, I'm reading that nitrate is 20 parts per million. So we're definitely converting some nitrite, which is a good sign. I guess it's possible that without the water change, that little filler just won't hold enough to deal with the nitrite. But we'll see. It won't give up yet, and we'll keep on keeping on. So I'm gonna stick with no water change today. We added our half a gram of food. We'll add a couple cups of water to make up for the evaporation. There wasn't any smell today, so that's a good sign. And let's see how long it's going to take this old girl to bring that down, if ever. Okay, so until tomorrow, this marks, I think, the 24th day of this little exercise, so it's certainly getting on a ways here. One would hope to see some results pretty darn soon. Well, at long last, we are getting somewhere for sure. So here we've got our ammonia at 0. I'm going to call that nitrite about a 1/10. And it looks like the nitrate is now up to 80. So everything is working just like the theory said it should. It's, I believe, the 26th day. I'll have to look at the log to be sure. And that's not all that far off from what I had kind of expected. I was just concerned there for a while since it wasn't budging for so long. I was afraid this was going to go on forever, but looks like we're in good shape here. So we'll be ready to kind of close this episode out pretty soon. I hope maybe another day or two, and then we'll go on to starting to add some feed to that tank and see how much that little filter will handle. So very good news at last. Well, hallelujah. Here we are on the 33rd day. We got 0 ammonia nitrite, got 80 parts per million nitrate. So that's just a little bit longer than I thought it would take. I originally said 3 to 4 weeks, might take a month, and it sure enough did. Probably because I put 10 times as much food in there as I should have to start it off. But anyways, we got our cycle finally, kind of a funny looking one. I think we'll graph her out and see what it looks like, but kind of shot right up there in the nitrate and stayed level for a long time before it started coming down. But anyway, she's down now. So this will kind of wrap up episode 3, and we're going to start feeding that tank and see just how much that little filter will stand. Now here it is, just humming away. I just stirred up all the debris that was on the bottom. We've accumulated quite a bit now. But this will wrap up this episode. We fed another half a gram today. We'll start increasing that tomorrow. And then once we find the limits, we'll tear everything down and take a look at how well it's handled this all. And so, until that time, happy fish keeping. So here's the charts from day 0 through day 35. Kind of interesting. As you can see, it stayed up there at 6 parts per million forever, and then finally came down pretty quickly.